Hi there, Vanessa Day here. This is the very last reporting from my 8-week body transformation, and for those of you that know Field of Fitness, you'll know the ladies anyway, we know I'm sitting in the changing rooms. I've just had my very last session. I hope I don't look too hot and sweaty, but I really wanted to report in straight away with kind of how I'd got on and just to summarise kind of the journey so far. So just to remind you, my big goal was to lose 4k in weight, 4 kilograms, and I'm kind of pleased and a bit disappointed all at once because I missed it by 100 grams. If I'd have known I'd have had a haircut. But I also put on some muscle in that, far more than 100 grams. So in that sense, I've certainly lost all of that in fat. So I think I can kind of say I tick that particular box. But I think more important is just to think about what is 4K. I mean, that's a 4K hand dumbbell there, and it kind of doesn't look very much, and it's just over half a stone, which sounds a bit kind of feeble in some ways. But I think kind of more interesting is it's actually 16 of those, 16 packs of butter, and that's a considerable volume, and I'm now not carrying that, and there's no doubt I feel better and look better, and everything fits better, so really pleased about that. One of my goals was to drop a jean size. These are the old jeans, the pre-Christmas jeans that I couldn't fit into anymore, and they're back in play, I'm delighted to say. I wanted to gain more energy, and I hope my videos have proved that that's been the case. We kind of had everywhere to go with that, because I was really low energy after having flu for about 8 weeks, so that was great news. So I really feel massively better about lots of things, so really thrilled about that. But having done the body scan thing, the overall score that I originally got was 70, and in testing week it had gone up by 1, but I'm really delighted to say that, if you can see there, it's now saying 75 up at the top there. So that feels like huge progress actually, because I know 80 is the beginning of their being properly fit, and given I'm never going to hit their weight targets, which are based around BMI, and so that's always going to limit that score for me. So I'm really pleased with that. Actually, more to the point, the guys here are really pleased as well, and we all like teacher to give us a pat on the back and say we've done all right. So I really feel I've kind of fulfilled my challenge to me, and my bargain to me, and to them as well. So ticks all along. So question is, how did I do it, and kind of lessons learned along the way. Number one is I upped my sessions. I had definitely got locked into the idea I could only manage 2 sessions in a week. I still run my own business, so I'm busy a lot of the time, and taking more time out was a problem, and so I was stuck that I could only do 2, but I had to up it. There was no way I was going to achieve the goals if I didn't up it, and I was able, because I had to find extra slots, and so Saturday mornings I've been coming, and that's been really useful, because actually one of my habits on a Saturday morning has been have breakfast, nice relaxed start to the day, but I'll just pop up to the office and get a bunch of stuff done, get the week rounded up, and next thing you know it's 2 o'clock and half of Saturday's disappeared. So it's just kind of stopped that habit, and that's not a bad place at all. So it's forced me to get out and about, and you do other stuff while you're out, and so Saturdays it feels much more like a Saturday. And I've also been coming on a Monday evening, and at 6:30, so the day is complete. I'm still home before the evening proper begins. So I think that's been interesting, that because I had to, I found the time and I could do more, and it's not felt a hardship at all, and I plan to carry on doing that. Number 2 for me, I've cut out alcohol. I mean, apart from, we had a big birthday weekend away 2 weekends ago, and I had a gin and tonic, 2 glasses of champagne and a glass of wine, but other than that I've drunk nothing for the whole 8 weeks. So it's meant I wasn't drinking my usual nightly gin and tonic, and glasses of wine and what have you just disappeared, and I genuinely haven't missed it. I really thought that I would actually. So we're not big drinkers, but it's that whole social pattern, isn't it, that you just drink just because, and literally just stopped it. I mean, I think important was that I've kind of discovered Fever Tree low calorie tonic. I'm not a huge fan of low calorie because of all the artificial sugar thing, but for the purposes of this 8 week, I ran with it. I probably will switch just to ordinary tonic. But actually all I really wanted was that moment in the evening where it just marked the end of the day and the start of the evening, and it's kind of sit down, grown up, crystal glass, ice, slice, and tonic achieves that just as well. And I genuinely haven't missed it. It has not felt like a hardship, and I'm really keen not to go back into that. It just becoming a habit, because actually I don't think you enjoy it that much. You just look down and the glass is empty. So I want to be much more selective about the alcohol that I drink and make sure I genuinely want it and enjoy it. I've cut out pure carbs, so potatoes, rice, pasta, so anything that was literally just carbohydrate on the plate, those classic empty calories disappeared. There was a glass of cauliflowers, wasn't there? And I found myself being very inventive with cauliflowers, sweet potato, and I've had masses more, leeks, carrots, you name it. But I have to say, spaghetti bolognese with leeks and not spaghetti doesn't entirely work. I'm not sure I'd do that again. But otherwise, I found lots of more inventive ways in which you can use vegetables to add the carbohydrate to your plate and it not to be to the detriment of the meal. So that's been really useful. I've definitely eaten more during the day. I've always seen myself as a snacker. I get very hungry mid-morning, mid-afternoon, and then haven't always planned for that. Then so next thing you know, you're getting this big sugar crash around about 5:30, and my tipple, as it were, was I always used to have those low-calorie rice crackers, but then I'd add butter and apricot jam onto it, which did rather negate the rice cracker element. But because I'm eating more, my favourite breakfast, I have to say, is rolled oats, Greek yoghurt, fresh fruit, blueberries, raspberries, pistachios, drizzle of honey. Honestly, I could eat that 3 times a day. It's so delicious, but it's really substantial. And what I found is I'm not actually that hungry mid-morning, and I've generally been sufficed with, 4 or 5 Brazil nuts or something like that. I think I may actually have caused the current shortage in hummus, so I've been eating loads of that. So I've definitely not dieted, and that was always really, really key for me. This was never going to be a diet. I have not gone short on food. There's been hummus and guacamole, avocados and salmon and scrambled eggs and hollandaise and lots of really, really delicious food, but just not those pure carbohydrate things. And I've definitely seemed to have stopped that cycle of sugar crashing, which I suppose surprised me. I just thought that it was just how it was for me, but I have proved that's not the case. So tend to go into the evenings not feeling ravenously hungry. So certainly the meals I'm eating in the evening are just smaller, just because I'm not arriving into the evening feeling I can eat to eat the table, as well as the dinner. Being super accountable has been really important for me. I have shouted about it a lot. Part of the deal was that the guys would put it on social media. It's been on their website. I chose to be very public about it. I'm quite a reputation locally in my business, as a business speaker and mentor and so forth. And somebody even said to me, are you happy with your name being out there? Yeah, actually, completely happy about that. And that I think has really, really worked for me, because I just hadn't wanted to be seen as the kind of person that would let people down, that would be a disappointment, that almost got there but not quite really. She talked a good game, but she wasn't really up to the challenge. That would have been really damaging for me personally, in my how I saw myself. So I've gone out to all my clients. I hold them to account for what they do. So every week I've been telling them what I've been doing. I'm known as the butt kicker, so the butt kicker's been getting her butt kicked. And it's hard to say how or why that's worked so well. It's just made all those decisions really easy. There's kind of, why would I pick that up and eat it, or not do that thing or whatever, when I'm actually going to look quite wrong or stupid at the end of it. It just seems to have taken the decisions out of play. I haven't had to wrestle with them, and I think for me accountability has been really, really powerful. I think the other two big learnings for me was some sort of sub goals I hadn't entirely appreciated. One was the fact that actually the weight is much less important to me than the image of the person looking back at me in the mirror. We all have a picture in our heads, don't we? And that person looking back at me was this sort of strange round fat person, and it wasn't me. And definitely the person looking back at me now looks and feels much more like the person I want to be. I've lost inches all over, you know, they do all sorts of measurements, so definitely my shape has changed. And a sense of feeling like I've got my shit together, of not feeling like I was in chaos. That's felt very important. I feel much more in control of not just this, but lots of things in my life, just by feeling like I'm, you know, you start every day feeling in a much more controlled place. So we're heading into the future now, so future goals. I really want to carry on the journey. I'll be reporting back in 8 weeks' time. We're going to do another weigh-in and just see how it's gone. I've just agreed my goals with John, and it's not going to be about weight, but it is going to be about body fat. We go on a big holiday at the beginning of next year as our 60th birthday treat after a year of celebrating, and I really would like to be probably best part of a stone lighter, but actually less so in weight, more in loss of body fat, because chances are I will put muscle on. So at that reduction in body fat, I think it's not just a case of looking right. It means we are spending a whole year celebrating our 60th, and that has quite a mind-changing effect. We're not just allowing it to flit by as if it wasn't happening to us. So psychologically, I know I will feel quite changed at the end of this year. I want to go into my 60s feeling like the best 60-year-old I could be, because it does feel like the next stage of my life, and I want us to have the best chance possible, and you know, to feel great about life, and to go into it, you know, with huge energy. So it has been an absolute pleasure, actually. There's been a few ups and downs, of course. I've had so much support from people. I've loved that, and if I've helped anyone on the way, great. Thank you for all the people who've helped me, and I hope I can proudly sit here in 8 weeks and report that I've continued the journey. So whoever goes next, really good luck to you, and look forward to seeing what you get up to. Cheers then, bye bye.